Welcome in to Outkick the Show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I appreciate you guys spending your Wednesday afternoon with me. Outkick the Show is presented by Oddshark. Go to Oddshark for all your gambling and informational related needs as well. Also, keep in mind that we got several other things I'd like to tell you about. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com, thehomeloanexpert.com. If you need a mortgage, get hooked up, and you'll be glad that you did. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com. If you have a mortgage in the 4s, they'll get you a mortgage in the 2s. They'll take care of you. Tell them Clay Travis and Outkick sent you, and you get a free year's VIP subscription as well. Finally, go to alumnihall.com right now. If you go to alumnihall.com, they're all over the place. They have 27 stores right now. They will give you 10% off all of your college athletic gear plus free shipping if you use the code OUTKICK. That's alumnihall.com. So much to discuss. Let's dive in. I'll give you the rundown right now. I agree, Alumni Hall is the best. The U.S. men collapse, no World Cup. Eminem goes after Donald Trump. ESPN bans protesters on their campus. The irony is amazing because they didn't want the protesters to interfere with their business. This is real life. We'll talk about that. And the Dolphins stripper Coke video. The explanation has come out why it is happening. All of that we will dive into. We will be glad. But again, this show presented by Oddshark. Check out thehomeloanexpert.com and alumnihall.com as well. Go get hooked up today. All right, let's start with soccer, which I think is the biggest story out there right now. And people are like, oh, how do you know about soccer? Well, I played soccer. I wasn't very good. I was a fullback. I was adept at tackling people and occasionally getting scored on. I did not grow up playing soccer because that was my generation in soccer, at least in the South. I wasn't rich enough to grow up playing soccer. Now everybody plays it. But I believe completely that what happened last night against Trinidad and Tobago was a total disaster. And I think it reflects a fundamental failure in the way that America pursues soccer. And let me explain why. Don't give me any questions about this. I want you to follow my philosophy on this. America overvalues substantially athleticism in sports because primarily this country believes that every sport we can become good at if we train like we do in basketball and in football. Basketball and football value athleticism over skill. And let me explain why that is. You can show up in America having come from overseas playing soccer for your entire life like Hakeem Olajuwon did, and you can become a great basketball player. The converse does not happen. We do not have American kids who suddenly move to Brazil and have never played soccer until they're 15 or 16 years old and they become soccer stars. It just doesn't happen. That's because soccer is as much, if not more, about skill than it is about athletic talent. The same thing is true of football. You can have a guy like Bjorn Werner come over here from Germany, or Konstantin Ritzman, who was at Tennessee and became a defensive end, and they can become dominant college football or NFL players. And as a result, they can become first-round draft picks. Same thing can happen with Ziggy Ansah. That's because football is about athleticism, but you also have a discrete talent. If you're Ziggy Ansah or you're Bjorn Werner, you don't have to worry about everything else that goes on the soccer field. You don't have to be able to throw the football. You don't have to be able to catch it. You don't have to be able to cover a back coming out of the backfield. And by the way, anybody who complains about topics gets blocked. All right, right now, Clay Kyle pulling out his gun, and I'm wiping motherfuckers off. Let me tell you this right now. I believe that if you complain that you don't like soccer, you are a pussy. And I am wearing my DBAP shirts, okay? I'm wearing my DBAP shirts. I just cocked my gun, and I will wipe out you motherfuckers, all right? If you are complaining that you don't like soccer, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck, all right? Boom. Hold on. If you don't like soccer, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion that you don't like soccer. Not liking soccer guy is like after taxes guy. He's like fade the picks guy. He is, amen, respect the topics. You are dead. You're not allowed to come in the show and comment. I don't care if you ever come back again. That's the truth. You guys are just like hate Game of Thrones guy. If you don't like soccer, that's fine. You can leave and you can go come back another day. I choose the topics on this show. You respect the topics. If you don't like the topics, leave. Nobody gives a fuck about whether or not you like soccer. Just like this internet life that we got right now. All right? This internet life that we got right now is like people have to come on all the time and say whether they like or dislike something. What are you so concerned about everybody knowing that you dislike something for? If you don't like something, go spend your time some other place. There are literally a billion things going on in the world of entertainment right now that you can go consume. Nobody wants to come on here and get you talking about that. You're blocked forever. You can create potentially a new Twitter account, but you're blocked forever. You can't come back. Commenting is a privilege. This is a clayocracy, not a democracy. I don't care what your opinion is. You're gone forever. That's the truth. Forever is sleep. That's right. I just put you to sleep. Call me Jake the Snake, motherfucker. All right. This is the truth. Okay? This is the truth. If I block the wrong person, they can reach out to me and say you accidentally blocked me. Every now and then, Clay Kyle takes out the wrong person. We train soccer players here like they need athleticism. If you watch a soccer game, our flaw in this country is not that our players aren't bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody else's. It is that we aren't skilled enough. We can't pass. This makes a lot of sense if you watch the way Europe develops basketball players. The stretch four is a European concept. We've taken it over here. The idea in Europe, we used to make fun of, remember, like 7-footers like Dirk Nowitzki. They would come over here and we'd be like, ha ha, why isn't he a center? Why doesn't he go stand underneath the rim and get rebounds? He's so tall. Why does he want to go outside and try to shoot three-pointers? What a pussy, right? That used to be the talk in basketball. And then smart basketball minds started to say, wait a minute. If all 5 guys on the court can score from any place on the court, it makes defending people a lot more difficult. And so as a result, the stretch 4 and the stretch 5 have become desirable. The NBA wants guys who can step outside and make shots. They want guys who can handle the basketball. You want well-rounded athletes that are capable of being a threat anywhere on the offensive side of the ball. That's how Europe plays soccer. We play soccer like we're just going to bomb the ball, somebody's going to run there fast, and we try to get desperate and hope we can score a goal. Other countries possess the ball, they work us, they like throw jabs, they hit us in the mouth the whole game, they control it. Watch the way Spain and Italy play soccer. Watch the way Germany plays soccer like a well-oiled damn machine. They are all experts in soccer. And you know why that is? Because they are fearless in the way they develop their talent. They take 6-year-olds and they put them in soccer academies, and they're brutal. If they're not good enough at 7, they get kicked out. We always talk about how other countries, especially European countries, are filled with pussies. Overseas, they care about soccer enough that they will kick them out of school at 6 and 7 and 8 years old if they aren't progressing enough. The result is all of their players have done millions of more touches on the soccer ball than we have by the time they get to be teenagers, and then that accelerates. That's the truth. And so the result is we have a talent gap, not an athlete gap. And I'm so sick. The dumbest argument that exists in sports today, is that the reason why the U.S. doesn't win is because we don't have enough athletes. Trinidad and Tobago has 1.3 million people, and cricket is more popular there than soccer is. We have 323 million people. Atlanta by itself has 5 times the population of Trinidad and Tobago, right? We don't need more athletes. We need more skilled soccer players. Iceland has 400,000 people, and they just qualified for the World Cup. They are a tiny figment of the population. They're smaller population than Knoxville, Tennessee, and they just qualified for the World Cup. It's about training and developing talent. It's about training and developing talent more than it's about athletes. We think oh, if we just throw an athlete at a sport, we can turn him into a star. That's basketball and football mentality thinking. Again, think about this. And I don't ever hear anybody else talk about this. America thinks that everything's football. If you find an athlete and you put them on the field, they can become a pro at it. It's like The Blind Side, right? Michael Orr never really played football before. Oh, look, he's a big, tall, strong, athletic guy. Let's put him at left tackle. Bang, next thing you know, he's a multimillionaire. That doesn't happen in soccer. You identify talent at the age of 5 or 6, and you continue to rigorously train that talent for the rest of its life. Lionel Messi is 5'7", 160 pounds. He couldn't be pro in any sport in America other than maybe hockey, unless he was playing soccer here. The idea, even Ronaldo is 6 foot, 180. Everybody can play soccer and become a pro. We could be a dominant soccer country, but we need to be a lot better at developing the talent that we have from a skill perspective. Soccer has more in common with tennis and with golf than it does with football and basketball. The sooner people realize that it's a skill. You have to be able to handle the ball. You have to be able to play all the positions. You have to be able to score. You have to be able to defend. Soccer teams that are good in Europe, they're perfectly composed symphonies. They spread back and forth from midfield to attacking to back in defense. And they form like a perfect amoeba of soccer attack. We don't do that. Even our successful teams every now and then just get lucky and counterattack and score. We aren't a skilled team compared to the teams that we play against. Look at how short the time we usually possess the ball. Soccer can be a vibrant and exciting sport. We don't coach for it. We try and coach soccer like it's basketball or football, focusing on the athlete as opposed to the skill. Soccer isn't like that. You have to consider it to be like tennis. And for everybody out there who's like, oh, our best athletes don't care, again, athletes aren't the problem. If our best athletes focused on soccer at the age of 5 and were put into soccer academies, would we be better? Maybe. But we don't know if they'd be skilled. We don't know if LeBron James has the leg to be a good soccer player. We don't know who's the best athlete in the NBA. We don't know if Russell Westbrook can kick the ball well. We don't have any, nobody would say, oh, if Russell Westbrook was a quarterback, he would be unstoppable. Because we don't know how well Russell Westbrook can even throw, right? Is he accurate? Does he have a strong arm? All of those things matter for legs too. Are you accurate? Do you have a strong leg? Do you have great coordination? The assumption that suddenly a great athlete is going to be good at soccer, and that's the reason, is, I think, a reflection of the fact that Americans can't admit that we're not the best at something. It's a pathetic pussy argument, and I wear the DBAP shirt. Arguing, oh, if we cared, we'd be the best in the world is simply not true. We'd be better if we had more talent and if we had better development. But the idea that our players are going to be better just because they live in America is absurd. We don't win every track medal, and we have a lot more people who have the luxury of being able to play sports here. Yes, that might work for women's soccer. The reason why we win is because a lot of women can't even go to school and they can't play sports. Saudi Arabian women just got the right to drive cars. Do you think American women who have the ability to get as much training as they want starting at the age of 5 compared to the rest of the women in the world are going to be better? Yes. Our freedoms make our women better because there are more women who can play soccer, and we're rich enough as a country to allow women to play and forward thinking enough. Our women are competing against 5 other countries where women have equal rights and are able to actually play and have enough money to be able to pursue soccer at a high level. Japan, Australia, New Zealand, you just run through it, Britain, you just run through the list of countries where women are free and able to play soccer. That's the reason why we're actually good. That's the truth. All right, so that's my rant on soccer. Don't be an idiot. I will block you if you are anti-American athlete not being good enough because our athletes don't play. It's literally the dumbest argument that anybody makes in the world of sports. And all you do when you say it is make yourself look like an idiot. Okay, let's talk about Eminem's rap for a minute. I watched Eminem's rap. I think he's funny. I don't understand why everybody's like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I didn't think the rap was very good. I didn't think Eminem said anything that every Donald Trump critic has not already said before. I like Eminem. I liked him when he was funny. I don't understand why everybody's like, oh my God, did you see Eminem freestyle? So, why is that impressive? First of all, why do you know that he freestyled? He could have memorized the entire thing and then pretended to be freestyle. Why is it impressive? I don't understand. And I also want to get to this. Like, why did everybody come after me when I said I like boobs? And everybody is okay with every rap lyric that's ever existed, which is insanely demeaning compared to everything that I said. Like, Superman that hoe. Remember they would always play Superman that hoe inside NFL locker rooms and everybody would dance around? Supermaning that hoe means you come on her back and you stick the sheet to her back so that she looks like she has a cape like Superman. All right? That's kind of funny, right? It's kind of a funny idea. Twitter would lose its mind if every single rap lyric was explained. I don't understand why people are like, oh my God, Clay Travis can't say he likes boobs. And you go read the lyrics for any Jay-Z album, and it's like the 4 billionth most offensive thing that's ever been said there. Even Beyonce, who everybody loves. Have you heard all the lyrics to Beyonce songs? Why do musicians get away with murder and people like me come on and say, oh, you know what? Hey, ha, ha, I like the First Amendment and boobs, and people lose their mind. Now, I'm a First Amendment absolutist, and I agree with the ability of artists to say whatever they want. I think it's so funny when people are like, Donald Trump's creating a totalitarian government. Do you motherfuckers know what would happen in the vast majority of countries with totalitarian governments if a rapper said about their leader what Eminem just said about Donald Trump? There's nobody in North Korea that can even do a freestyle rap. If it happened, Kim Jong-un would kill them unless the freestyle rap praised them. That's true also in many African countries. It's true in many third world countries all over the globe. The First Amendment, which everybody seems to think that Donald Trump is trying to take away, is literally what gives all of these artists the right to go after Donald Trump with impunity. And I think it's tremendously ironic when you look at it as a First Amendment absolutist that I hear all these people criticizing Donald Trump for trying to take away freedoms in the press, and literally Donald Trump is the most criticized president in the history of the United States. I mean that. And that's not hyperbole. I mean that because there are more people living in America right now than ever before, and Donald Trump is the most controversial president to ever be elected. More people have criticized Donald Trump this year than have ever criticized any president in the history of our republic. That's fine. I have really thick skin. The thing that I would criticize Trump about is I wish he had thicker skin. I wish he was like, bitch, I'm the president. I don't care what you say about me. I mean, I got a freaking Periscope show and a Facebook show and a morning talk radio show and a website, and I legitimately don't care what anybody says about me. It really doesn't impact me at all. If I can not care at all with this modicum of success compared to Donald Trump, I don't care how I got elected president, whether it was because I was the vice president and the president got forced out, whether it was because the president had a heart attack and I had to take over, whether it was because I won the electoral college and somebody else won the popular vote. I would be the cockiest motherfucker on the planet if I was president. I wouldn't be walking around like, oh my God, somebody said something bad about me. I don't care about that. I don't think it makes any sense at all. So I think that is probably my biggest criticism of Donald Trump. But the Eminem rap, it wasn't at all intelligent. Moreover, lots of people out there are focused on the fact, like as if Eminem just fucking released the Federalist Papers and it's the most amazing thing that's ever happened in the history of democracy. It wasn't that intelligent of a rap. It wasn't that perceptive of a rap. It wasn't even that funny of a rap. It's just a bunch of people who already agree with Eminem being like, yay, Eminem's down with the cause. And by the way, Eminem made a living as a controversial rapper. Hating Donald Trump is not controversial. It's literally the least controversial thing Eminem could have done. You know what would have been ballsy? Coming out and defending Donald Trump in a rap and calling all of his critics pussies. Now that would have been funny. That would have been brave. That would have been controversial. But Eminem saying what everybody just about in the music industry already believes is not in any way brave. It's not in any way smart. And it wasn't in any way a very good rap. So I don't understand it. This is just evidence to me of Twitter losing its mind over things that they agree with and praising them even if they don't agree with it at all. This is an amazing story. So ESPN has been for the last year ridiculing the NFL at every step because the NFL does not want its players to protest while they are at work, while they are employed, because it is bad for business. protesters over the Jamel Hill suspension showed up at ESPN headquarters on Monday night, and ESPN called police to have them removed. What did they say in their official PR statement? Our focus was ensuring ESPN's normal business operations weren't interrupted. So ESPN removed protesters from outside of their parking lot, and their statement for why they did it was they said, our focus was ensuring ESPN's normal business operations weren't interrupted. So ESPN thinks protesters outside of their parking lot should be removed because they interfere with normal business operations. But they think the NFL should be required to allow protesters to protest in their actual games, even if it's a hindrance to the NFL's own business. My mind is blown over this. Did the irony meter and the hypocrisy meter not explode when ESPN issued this statement after calling police to have protesters removed? Our focus was ensuring ESPN's normal business operations weren't interrupted. So they offered the exact same defense that many people have offered for the NFL for why protesters shouldn't exist on their own defense. So what's good for ESPN is not good for the NFL. The past year, they've been making the exact same argument the NFL has, and ESPN just came out and said the same thing. It's unbelievable. Finally, the stripper Coke video. Did you see the stripper Coke video? The stripper, I guess, went on Dan Le Batard's show, although she had already gone on Facebook and described why she did it. She said she released the video of the Miami Dolphins player snorting Coke and talking about how he loved also snorting Coke and licking it off her pussy. Nice move there, bud. And said she did it because she wanted to strike back at white privilege because Colin Kaepernick was not in the NFL. My God, what an upside-down universe we have when strippers are throwing white coaches under the bus and blaming their white privilege because they just want to snort Coke off a stripper's pussy and have a good time. I don't know about you, but I actually feel bad for this idiot Dolphin offensive lineman coach. Now, he was an idiot to be sending a video to a stripper. These hoes ain't got no morals, all right? You can't think that a stripper loves you. You certainly can't send video of yourself doing something in a like a dangerous manner, something that you can be blackmailed. You can't send it to a stripper. These hoes ain't got no morals, right? Literally, this chick has got no morals. But let's be honest. Let's be honest here. The truth of the matter is, what did this guy do wrong? He just liked pussy and Coke, all right? There are a lot worse things to like than pussy and Coke. I don't feel that bad for him in the grand scheme of things because he's an idiot because he sent that video to that chick. And what did he think? This is so romantic that you're snorting Coke and thinking of me? Come on. Don't be a total bitch, right? Strippers don't really like you. This is a PSA for everybody out there. There's lots of 20-somethings out there. Lots of you guys are going to go on bachelor parties. Strippers don't really like you. These hoes, they ain't loyal, all right? They pretend to like you because the more they pretend to like you, the more they're going to get paid. So to me, this guy's not even 20 years old. This guy's like 50 years old. He's had to have been played by strippers before. The stripper doesn't like him, okay? She likes the fact that he gives her money. She likes the fact that maybe he gives her Coke. Why is she going to be impressed and think it's romantic that you're thinking of her while you're snorting Coke before you go into a meeting? By the way, I hope this guy snorted Coke and went into the meeting. I would love to see video of that meeting. I bet that was the most fired up offensive line meeting we've ever seen. I bet that guy had his offensive lineman ready to run through damn walls. I don't know why in the world, again, he thought, you know what this stripper's going to think is romantic? I'm going to snort Coke and tell her I'm thinking about it while I'm snorting Coke at work. And I'm also going to tell her that I love licking cocaine off her pussy. I don't know. It ain't quite Romeo and Juliet. It's not Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. You ain't Shakespeare, all right? I just don't think it was that impressive in the grand scheme of things. Bad move. She now had the ability to blackmail him. She probably tried to blackmail him when he didn't pay. She probably decided, you know what? I'm going to turn him in. And you know what I'll say so people won't get mad at me for narking? I'll say I did it because Colin Kaepernick's not in the NFL, and she'll probably get praise. She'll probably get a goddamn ESPY the way ESPN's going. The SB of the year goes out to this stripper chick who liked to do coke with the Dolphins offensive lineman. God bless her for outing this white offensive lineman and all of his white privilege. Speaking of that, I just went in on Shannon Sharpe. Did you guys see this idiot Shannon Sharpe? He blocked me on Twitter. He blocked me on Twitter because I went on Twitter and I asked him after he spent a week. You guys have been sending me the videos for a week of Shannon Sharpe, weeks even, of Shannon Sharpe calling Michael Bennett basically the Martin Luther King of the NFL. He praised him left and right. When it's finally proven that he is a total liar, what happens? When it's finally proven that he's a total liar, nobody at Undisputed, nobody on Shannon Sharpe's show ever mentions the fact that Michael Bennett is a liar, that he's a fraud, that he's a race-baiting loser, and that he threw 3 police officers, 2 of whom are Hispanic, 1 of whom are black, under the bus and claimed that they were actually unbelievable racist. It's not true. And then in the wake of the shooting, when all the Las Vegas police officers behaved so bravely, this accusation became even more of a ridiculous and absurd accusation. So one of you or a couple of you tweeted me the latest outrage that Shannon Sharpe had sent out. I legitimately think he's not an intelligent human being. If I went on the show and debated him, I would murder him in cold blood. And they know that. They know that if instead of Skip Bayless, if one day Shannon Sharpe walked out, even if I had a cold, even if I could barely breathe, like I'm doing right now, like I'm playing hurt on the show, even if I walked out and sat across from Shannon Sharpe, I would murder him verbally in cold blood. And at the end of the show, his career would be over. And everybody would say, my God, how in the world did this motherfucker ever get on a television show? Clay Travis just walked in here and decapitated him right in cold blood in front of everybody. He's got nothing left. He's just blood and guts everywhere. Okay, that's what would happen. He's not a smart man. I am a smart man. I would destroy him. He doesn't use facts. He uses emotion. He preys on stupid people. It would be an ugly, ugly performance for Shannon Sharpe. That's the truth. So I see that he has blocked me. And I see that he blocked me after I asked him whether or not he was going to address Michael Bennett. So I would encourage all of you out there right now, go find Shannon Sharpe and ask him. Ask him why he has not mentioned the fact that Shannon Sharpe said that Michael Bennett was a hero. And now that we know that Michael Bennett is a lying, fraudulent, race-baiting, total fraud, why has he not mentioned any of the stories that were fake about the Las Vegas Police Department? I think that stuff matters. I would encourage you, he's at Shannon Sharpe. Go on Twitter and ask him why. Ask him, why did you block Clay Travis? Because he told the truth. Ask him. Go ask him. Go track him down. I want everybody who watches this show, I want you to blow up his timeline, and I want you to ask him why he's not mentioning Michael Bennett. Level him. Everybody that you know, I want everybody out there. It's a marketplace of ideas. I want you to flood his timeline with questions. Why are you not talking about the fact that Michael Bennett is a liar after you ripped the Las Vegas Police Department for weeks, after you called them all racist? Now that the truth came out, you went silent. Why? Go find him at Shannon Sharpe on Twitter. The other thing you should know about Shannon Sharpe, he has 10 different complaints that have been filed against him for physically abusing, stalking, beating up women. It's why he lost his job at CBS. CBS finally got tired of it. 10 different complaints. This guy is the Harvey Weinstein of sports. He's got all sorts of complaints out there, except Harvey Weinstein was signing NDAs, so there was no actual records of them. Shannon Sharpe has got all these complaints filed against him. Why in the world is this guy the moral authority sitting on a show every day calling Jerry Jones a racist, calling the Las Vegas Police Department a racist, making up all these false accusations when he himself has been charged 10 different times in complaints with having beaten up women? That seems like it's kind of a bad deal. Seems like maybe you shouldn't be the moral authority if you are a guy who's out there accusing, beating up women, stalking them, all these accusations against him. 10 different formal complaints. If there's been 10 different formal complaints levied against you, think about that. That's way more than Harvey Weinstein had formal complaints. How in the world is that his job? How in the world is that his job to be a moral arbiter? Go ask him that question. What happened with all these 10 different complaints? Look them up. Ask questions. I sent a link. It's an interesting question. How in the world is he employed as a race-baiting moral authority who won't actually tell the truth when he has been in the crosshairs of inappropriate behavior in the last several years. Why CBS fired him? Why did CBS fire him? Because they were tired of putting up with his bullshit. Why does he get to sit there and make false accusations on television for 3 hours every day? Why does he block people who come on and ask him whether he's going to address his inaccurate reporting and his inaccurate opinions, which made minority police officers at the Las Vegas Police Department seem like lying frauds, when in reality Michael Bennett was the lying, race-baiting fraud? All of that. Ask those questions. He's at Shannon Sharp. Let him know. It's the marketplace of ideas. He's a fraud. You need to call frauds on being frauds. That's what I do. I'm Clay Travis, DBAP. Don't be a pussy. Go buy our gear. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll be live 6 to 9 a.m. tomorrow. Satellite radio may officially be back running. I am Clay Travis. I'm going to go try to survive this cold now. I love all of you. Remember, lesson as always, if you're a hypocrite, I'm coming for you. I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, male or female. I don't care where you work. I got you in my sights, and I'm taking you down. This is Clay Travis, and this has been Outkick the Show.